Welcome back to Kotlin with Compose. In today's video, we are diving into Jetpack Compose, Android's modern toolkit for building native UIs. We will cover what Compose is, how to set up a project, and create our first composable functions. So, let's get started. So, what is Jetpack Compose? Jetpack Compose is a declarative UI toolkit for Android, developed by Google. It simplifies and accelerates UI development on Android. Unlike the traditional view-based system, Compose allows you to build UIs by describing what they should look like, and the framework takes care of the rest. Some of the key benefits of Compose are less code and easier to maintain. It is very powerful and intuitive. It is fully declarative, and it is compatible with existing Android views. And more than that, it is built with Kotlin, so it replaces the XML layout with Kotlin code, and it makes UI more dynamic and easier to work with. Now let's set up a project with Jetpack Compose, and to do that, let's open Android Studio. And click on next project and choose empty compose activity, which is this, and click on next, and let's give a name. Let's call it Jetpack Basics. Okay, so we need the package in here, Kotlin with Compose, and Jetpack Basic. Okay, so I have set minimum SDK to API 26. You can select API 21 or anything higher with 21, and I select the recommend build configuration, that is Kotlin TSL, and click on finish. Configuration has been completed. So now let's look at what has been created here. So let's first go to here Gradle script, and there are two Gradle files. One is of project and one is for app module, and we have discussed about the builder Gradle files in our previous videos. You can watch over there, and we have also similarly covered about the manifest file and this resource folder, and also we have covered the topics about main activity in our previous videos. You can watch there. I will give the link in the description below. And let's go to main activity for now, and you can see like it's nothing different from XML. Everything is like same, but as we reach here, there is set content instead of a set content view. If we were using XML, then we would have used here set content view and would have assigned the layout. And you can also see that there is no layout folder in the resource folder here, and because we are using Jetpack Compose, so we don't need the layout at all, because everything will be designed in the Composable. So let's start with some basics of Jetpack Compose. So now let's start our some basics with like let's start with text. So for that example, so you can see here, so let's preview this and let it render for now. So you can see the hello Android, which is type text composable here, and you can see in the text, so it has already got a text parameter and hello name, which is being passed here, and which is passed as Android here, and the text is being displayed. So now let's just remove this passing parameter here and just name it Android for now. Yeah, So this is the text composables, and text composable contains lots of parameters like text, modifier, colors. You can see there are lots of parameters with text, so I won't be discussing all the parameters here, but yeah, you can also read, but I will be covering some of the basics, like this text is for just displaying the text, and this is the modifier. So with modifier we can do lots of things. We can just give it its size, and we can make something clickable even like this. Like if you want to assign modifier, that let's call it fill the max width, and it will just fill the max width. You can see the updated UI here. So let's just refresh it, and yeah, so this is the text field with max width. So if you see the actual design, and this is the text field, and we can also like give text size. We can give it like font size, and we can just assign like, let's give it 16 sp, and in Composable we provide xp or dp with dot, and like we can just use 16 as this is text, so we use sp, so sp, and we need to import these two, so hit alt enter, and yeah, 16 dp. So I don't think it's quite making some difference with the previous default one, so let's give it some more, like let's give it 32 value, and yeah, you can see the difference now. So this is the text, and we can do lots of things with this. So another is color. So we can also give text a color which is of type color. So let's give it color that red for here, and the color is red. You can give whatever you like you can even give blue or anything, or beside there, is there anything? So yeah, we can even use the font weight, like we can make it like bold or normal type. So font weight, that bold, there is thin, there is option, so you can use any. So there is also semi bold, medium, light, extra light. So let's select bold for now, and the text is now bold. So there are lots of parameters with here, so like let's assign text align here, which is also a useful parameter. So let's align it center, so you can see the text is center to its size. You can see the text is centered to its size. So there are lots of other things like text decoration, line height, overflow, max line, min lines, on text layout, styles, and letter spacing. Also you can assign font families to the text. So that's it for the text. So now let's move into another part, that is button. So now let's comment this text for now, and in Composable you can create a button with just using button Composable function, and button inside there is a lambda expression. So button itself is of Composable, which also requires a content inside the button, which was not required by the text, as it was itself a content. So text was itself a content, and it was of returns of type unit, and button is of type unit, and it also requires the content, so we need to provide the content, and content is provided with this lambda expressions, and inside lambda expression we can provide content, or we can also provide the content by like we can, if we don't want to use the lambda expressions like this, then we can also define the content like here, and we can also use the lambda expression here. We can also do in this way, but I like to do this way, so let's do it this way only. So now let's see what we have. We have text, and we have also got the button over here, and now let's add text to this button. And to add text, we create a text composable, and let's assign I am button. Okay, so it's running, and you can see that I am button. So let's just comment this text for now. So this is the buttons, and similarly a button also has lots of parameters in it, and like we can use the modifier like we used in the text, and similar to text we also have a modifier like with fill max size, and also we can make it also like clickable like this also. So let's not make it clickable because it's a button, and button is already clickable, so there is a method called onClick. So we can perform the button click listener on this onClick over here, and we can do whatever we like to do while this button is clicked, so we can perform that action in this to do part. And let's talk about the button modifiers for now. And we have other like enabled, so you can type enabled, and if it is false then the click is disabled, and also you can see the button's design is now like disabled too. So if we enable it here, so it will be enabled again. So by default it's enabled. And what we have other here, so there is shape, there is color. So like if you want to give shape to your button, then you define like a rectangle shape, and it's like of a rectangle shape here. And now if we give like another shape like circle shape, then yeah, it's quite circular maybe, and the text is too long for to be circular. So okay, so we have this fill max size, so yeah. So you can see that the text is now it's visible, so it was a rendering issue. So similarly we can give it a different shape like rounded corner shape, and we can define its percentage or whatever in the corner size we want to cut it. We can cut it like this too. And besides shape we also have elevation, which use button elevation. So like I think we need to use button default and elevations, and yeah, like this. And we can specify how much dp we want to elevate this with the background. So like we can assign 6.dp, and we need to import the dp here, and yeah. And now I think you can see some shadows. Let's just refresh here. And in the device you will obviously see it will be elevated. So there are other things like you can give it a border, or you can give it different colors. So you can walk around with colors and other stuffs. And so now let's move into another composable function, that is image. So let's comment this and dive into our last composable function for today, that is image composable. So let's type image and call it, and we'll be using vector image for this image composable for this video. There are other types, like you can use the painter resource for using painter types, and painter type is for using any resource file that you have inserted in the drawable, and you can use with the painter resource, and you can just assign the id with drawable dot any name like this, and let's set it null for here, and let's preview so you can see, because the icon is like that only, so the preview is similar to that. So this is the way how you can assign the drawable in the image, like using the painter as parameter. So now for this example, let's not use painter, let's use image vector, which is of type, you can say it's of type icon, which is best suited for icon composable instead of image, but let's use here for this video purpose. So yeah, you can see, and we have a modifier like we had in button and text, so we can use the modifier here too. Let's define size, so let's give it 64.dp, and yeah, you can see there the size is increased. And similarly, there are also other things, like you can even create a alpha value, so it's for the opacity, so like, and this value is from 0 to I think 1, so you need to give the value between 0 to 1, and that should be in float value. So 0.1 f is I think very transparent, you can barely see, and if you just set it to 1, then it's fully opaque, I think. Yeah, and if you set to 0.9, then it's will be little bit faded, that you will not notice even. So beside alpha, there is alignment you can use, and there is also content scale, and I think you have used content scale in the XML too, so it's like content scale the fit or anything, you know, like content scale dot crop, there is content scale dot fill width, null, fill bounds, fit, inside. You can use as per your requirement or as per your design. Let's just use fit here, and there you have it. We have introduced Jetpack Compose, we have also set it up the project, and we have created our first composable functions like text composable, button composable, and image composable. And in our next video, we will dive deeper into layouts and learn how to structure our UI more effectively. And if you find this video very helpful, then don't forget to like and subscribe, and also leave a comment if you have any questions, and see you in the next one. Till then, happy coding.